to be in Leadership, Georgia. It's a huge honor, and only two guys from, are you catching my drift? Only two guys from Albany probably will be invited to be in next year's class. And I don't know who the other guy is yet, but I know Sarah Ann, his wife, won't be able to make all the meetings, so I'm probably going to room with him. Now we can talk about the car. Dead wrong. First of all, Sarah Ann ain't going to let you room with the other person, because that would be me. So, we laughed about that. And finally, the next year, 1983, as we went through Leadership Georgia together, we became known as Rudy. So I called him for 30 years, Remy, and he always knows who it is. We did go through the Leadership Georgia class, and it was an awesome experience. But the most prevailing thing that George and I took away from that experience was that, we hear all of our participants from Savannah talk about Leadership Savannah, Leadership Macon, Leadership Atlanta, Leadership Columbus, and George and I would say, what is all about? This is all about. We don't have a Leadership Albany. So we need to come home and work on. One of our first board members was Geraldine Hudley. So we gathered up our board. Ed Freeman was the chairman of our first board, and we would all get in the car and go visit Macon and Columbus and all these places around and talk to the facilitators and the people, the execs who were running these programs, because we knew that our program, once it did birth, would be the best in the state. And we've not been disappointed one bit in that. We learned a lot about the other cities, so we went to work. We went to work to change things. And the first person we enlisted was the Chamber of Commerce. The president of the chamber at that time was John Moulton, and Lamar Clifton was the executive director of the chamber. And they bought in Cook, Line, and Singer. We had Nancy Chambliss, who'd been, her husband had been in Leadership Georgia the year before we were. And Peggy Nielsen had been in the Leadership Atlanta, and various and sundry people who came to the table, and we went to work. But that main blessing was the blessing of the chamber. And the officials of the chamber, I think they thought we were going to breed a whole big group of people that were all going to run for elected office. Didn't quite work out, but it sure was a good start, and we appreciate it for whatever. I'm going to pass around, not the first board, but a very early board of directors, and you will see me with lots of hair and no wrinkles. So that's how it was. But this was probably the board. Geraldine, you're not in it, so it had to be later. We know that Ed Freeman was president, and he had died, this board, so he was not in the picture. Numbers of people have died that were in this. We think it was probably about 89, this board, but we had T. Marshall Jones, who looks like he's about 25. Jimmy Grace Jr. had become chair and remained as chair for many years after that. Herb Phipps. James Bush was from the first class, and he was elected to the board from that class.